Hello and welcome to Is There Something in This, the podcast where I, Scott Dooley, and he, Jason Chatfield, come up with jokes for the New Yorker. Cartoons, jokes, gags, bits. So,
Yeah.
how have you been?
Yeah, good.
Did you read about this thing called COVID?
Yeah, how was your pandemic?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
A good one?
Is this is this the weirdest year to wake up from a coma?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Because, like, I was just thinking, like, man, imagine waking up from a coma now. The level of assumed knowledge
Yes.
that you need to be able to navigate whatever the hell we're doing at the moment.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like,
The level set is gone.
it's absolutely out the window. Where people
Yeah.
are talking about, like, not only is it like, hey, do you remember the guy from The Apprentice? He's running for president. You go, what? That's weird. He's running. Is he a chance? Is he a chance? He was
He
president.
was president for 4
For 4 years.
Long years, yeah.
And then...
And now he's running
again. Yeah.
with a pretty good chance
Oh, yeah.
of winning.
Yeah.
Against a well-meaning elderly man with a failing memory.
And then oh, really? That's weird because I would have just thought, like, after 9/11, like, Giuliani would have... Oh, yeah, no. He's completely broken. Looks like he's going to go to jail. What for? You remember the guy from The Apprentice?
It all links back. It's
But
been,
just, like, even-
yeah, it's so surreal. It's hard to describe. Like, where would you begin? It's like writing an entire new syllabus.
It really is.
history.
And
Yeah.
just, like, walking down the street,
Right.
like, your first
Everything's
logical,
changed.
like, everyone's selling weed.
Yeah, there are people wearing Vision Pros out in public.
Yeah,
Apple
you
Vision
turn on
Pro-
the Today Show and, like,
Yeah.
Hoda's telling you what the money line spread is on NFL games. Like everyone's gambling.
Yeah. Much of the population has fled from major metropolitan, areas. And the whole job market is AI, everything. It's just, everything is upended.
I honestly, you'd just be like, just try to get back to sleep, dude.
Yeah. So we had a gag that we pitched, I think to Mad Magazine. That's how old it was. Because we used to, when Mad Magazine was still around, we used to get plenty of gags in that. And it was one of those gags where it was like the guy who had just woken up from a coma. And it was like 2018, I want to say. And he's like, that's the 4th coma patient who's been asked to be put back in a coma this week.
Oh, yeah, right.
And we thought it was bad in 2018. We thought it was bad in 2018. We had no idea what was coming.
It would be fun waking up from a coma.
Fun.
Like after 10 years. And
Rip Van Winkle style.
Yeah, to be like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder if you'd be like impressed because realistically you don't think, oh, in the future, and then you put like the guy from Happy Days would murder 6 people. You don't think like that. You think like, oh, we won't have to queue up for aeroplanes anymore. They'll have figured out how to get us seated
Right.
by then.
Yeah.
And then
Or
you're
just
there-
airplanes going through the sky without
just
the
things
doors
flying
blowing
off, and
Yeah.
like you expect to be. I guess the Vision Pro thing is probably close to like a big.
I think it's top 3 would be presidents, AI, and then what the hell is that on everybody's face?
But what you
Yeah.
expect is like.
Yeah.
But what you really get, like you expect hover cars, but what you
Sure.
get is like they've got an extra camera in phones now. That's what we spent the last 10 years working on. Oh, but you
Yeah.
cured cancer. That's why you worked on the. Oh, no.
No. Wait, that's still a thing.
Yeah,
Very
really
much a
bad.
thing.
It's really bad.
Yeah. So the last time we did an episode, I believe I was about to get on a plane to Chicago, and then some listener has gone into a coma since then and just woken up. So it's only been a week since our last episode for them.
Right, for the coma,
For
for the
psychological
one coma
time.
patient.
For that one coma patient
Could
who
that
listens.
be our hook for this podcast? You know how like Joe Rogan's
Yeah.
got like, martial arts guys that like smoking.
Sure, who like just asking questions.
Yeah, just asking questions. Yeah, playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Bill Simmons has like sports people.
Yep.
Ours can be people that have just woken up
Just
from
woken up
comas.
from comas.
Like
That's
a
a
really
pretty good niche. Yeah, why not?
And then we'll start advertising
Yeah.
things like
Ambien. I don't know.
I don't think they'd need
Maybe, I
that.
don't know.
No, I think
Just
they'd-
from the shock of it all.
yeah, like I don't know, like
Valium.
bed sore ointment or whatever.
Sure.
Because this is the thing with your coma patient and people.
Yeah,
often
go
get-
on then.
You got to turn them. You know,
You've got to turn
they
it.
get all flat on one side.
Yeah.
What are you doing tonight? Oh, I've got to turn my husband.
Yeah. So it's been
How often do you have to
Yeah.
bathe the coma patient?
bathe.
Is it once a day, once a week?
I mean, I'd say it's once a day. It's a sponge bath, isn't it?
because Tony Soprano never got washed.
No, not on the show. You never see it. Neither
Oh.
did Christopher Moltisanti when he was under. After he got shot.
Well, Tony was in a coma as well.
He was
Who
in a
am I?
coma
Where
for a
am I
long
going?
time, and he had those surreal dreams and everything. But you never saw him getting a sponge bath. That's an outrage, Mr. Chase. Why was there never a Tony?
That's our we somehow after the coma patients, there's
Yeah.
so many of them that we've become the most powerful podcast in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
We are then we've got our pick of creative and we say we're
Yeah.
going to redo The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but the characters performing ablutions. It's just like,
There was.
do you remember the episode when Meadow had that weird curry? Yeah,
Oh my
that was crazy episode. It's just, but it's all beautifully shot.
It's all shot the same way. Yeah.
And the music budgets, there's all these old Sinatras, like when I was 17. And
Oh my god! As the opening.
that's the opening thing.
Yeah.
It's just Carmela in the shower for
Oh my
35
God.
minutes.
There isn't.
moisturising.
You know what the sad thing is? There's not only an audience for that. There's an enormous audience for that. There are so many people who would be so into that weird surrealist, just.
Oh, not like fetishists.
No. Well, I'm sure some of those
But
are
like
tune
Wes
in as well.
Anderson fans that are like,
Yeah.
I'm appreciating
Like-
this on such a deep level. You
Sure.
don't understand how much I get this.
And then Max would have, plugged it as, it's the one, sort of reunion that we've all been wanting, which, I don't think.
maybe they go to like a spa or something so we can see them all showering together.
There you go.
Talking about the good old days. Junior asking Chrissy for some Listerine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows when you get those crazy guys together?
I believe, speaking of podcasts, I believe the actor who plays Chris Moltisanti and
Michael
Imperioli and his old mate, not Fat Pussy, what's his name?
Bobby Baklava.
I think, Bobby. I think they have a pod together.
You know, Bobby Baklava used to book comics. He was
Really?
a
right.
at some casino. He would
in
be
Atlantic City.
or Poconos maybe.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
But he was the
done
booking
that. I've
agent,
done
and
those.
so he knew a lot of the big comics that would go there, and someone or other was performing and said, "Oh, there's this show. Do you want to come in?" And he was just they were like, "Oh, can you
Wow.
come into the thing?"
He was great.
He was great.
I think he really shone when. Sorry, this has become a Sopranos podcast. But when his dad, spoiler alert, dies while trying to, he successfully.
It's already
shoots
knocks off the
someone
guy. Yeah, that's right.
and his housemate, and then crashes his car from a coughing fit. And Bobby starts going off at Uncle June about not coming to the funeral and not.
That's right.
It's that whole arc was just so good. Anyway, needless to say, I've been on maybe my 6th or 7th reviewing
Oh, you're
of
doing another
Sopranos.
lap.
I do. I nearly every year or two I do another lap.
Yeah.
It's just the best show ever made.
Well, until
The
our version,
reunion where
the
everybody's
reunion
bathing.
where everyone's
It's
bathing.
called The Sopranos. Everybody's bathing.
It's the Sopranos cleaning up.
Now, can I, just to contextualize, obviously a lot's happened in the interim. Can I sizzle the baby?
I've been baby trapped,
You've been baby trapped.
and
yes.
I'm looking for an attorney.
You
This
have
is
an-
how they get you.
Yeah, you have an anchor baby.
These women who are way more successful than you
Yeah, it's the same old story. It's
Yeah.
tragic.
Yeah.
But you are expecting a little baby within weeks.
Yeah, a couple
Weeks
of weeks
from now.
Yeah, in a
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
It's amazing. Are
yeah.
you excited? You're excited. Nervous.
Yeah, I am
terrified.
excited. Yeah, I am. But it's also like,
Everything's going to change.
well, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
It is, but it's also like everyone has. I don't want to become one of those people that is like, oh my god, like. And don't get me wrong, it will probably be the most profound thing in my life.
Yes.
but it's not the only profound thing that happens to people in life.
Sure.
So don't be that guy that's like,
Right.
seriously, buddy. You
Like I
you
would know.
you think you know what love is. You know, like
Yeah,
one of those
yeah.
guys that
You
starts
think
like
you
giving
know.
speeches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just apropos of nothing, just starts giving these like heartfelt speeches,
Yeah.
like it's a commencement speech
Yeah,
at a college
yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
You think you know love, and then you see the Sopranos reunion, and you just think, "Fuck! I thought I knew.
Oh my god!
I thought I knew."
Look at that.
Yeah.
They CGI Olivia back in.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
Where's the body wash?
Oh my god. Ugh.
There'd be a few CGIs actually
There's about 7
in
or 8.
Sopranos cleaning up.
Yeah, I'd say so. Is it called cleaning up, or is it what we're going to call
Sopranos colon.
it? Is this a sidebar episode of Greenlight Boys?
This is, yeah. God almighty. Speaking of podcasts no one's thought about for years. Hey, should we do some jokes?
Let's do some jokes. What have you got for this week?
Okay,
have you
this
got some
week.
jokes?
Is there something in this? It's I don't know if it's like a hospital room where like there's like all these clearly like comically injured businessmen. So like
Bandages over their head.
bandages over the head, elevated broken leg in
broken
the
leg.
cast. You know, the
Yep.
classic cartoon thing.
Yes.
And or something along those lines. But the caption is maybe a nurse or something saying, "Oh, these are the dangers of circling back too quickly." Or like, "Oh, he circled back too quickly." Like he.
You are a demon for corporate speak.
I love it. I love it.
I remember you once made a list
Yeah.
of no less than 100 different terminologies that are only used by insufferable pricks in offices.
Yeah, that's right.
Circle back. That circling back is such an interesting one because it had a real, like, if you did a Google Ngram of it, like it really had this peak in about 2019, 2020, because it was always an email thing, wasn't it? Just circle back.
Yeah.
You don't want to circle back too fast. This is what happens when you circle back too fast. And I can definitely see there's a certain set of people who would immediately identify with what that joke means.
Yeah, that's right. I think you and I had the grand design of doing an illustrated guide to.
Yeah, we did. I think we were going to do it as a shout. And
Yeah,
a
it was
shout
something,
is
yeah.
like a daily shout for the New Yorker where they do like a series of things on the website. Yeah, I think it was something about just a literally illustrated guide
Yeah.
to corporate terminology.
Yeah.
I still think there's legs for it. I still think there's something there.
I mean, you'd have to update it every kind of couple of years.
Yeah. The
there's,
lexicon
like-
keeps changing.
Yeah.
And I think I remember when we first discussed it back then. There were, every year the dictionary people, the
It's like
Merriam-Webster
this word of
people.
the year is fleek or whatever. Yeah.
That's exactly right. The terminology. What was it? Riz last year.
Oh yeah, for charisma, which was just
Yeah.
gift of the gab.
Pretty much, but that's the modern version of gift of the gab. And I feel like some of those office terms sneak their way into those top 10 new words, new terminologies.
Oh
the
yeah,
vernacular.
yeah. Like I'm just trying to think. Like
They're like jargon, really.
it's just jargon. Yeah.
Touched base,
Touch base.
kickstart,
Yeah. There you go.
clearly aligned, on the same page, moving forward.
Time agnostic was always a good
That's
one for
interesting.
me.
Time
I like
agnostic.
that.
WIP, setting the bar, FYI and heads up. Said like that.
Oh, I remember the meeting I was in when I wrote these
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
This was all of these were in the space of 15 minutes.
I bet in a don't tell me, a glass-walled office. Yes.
This may shock you. This may absolutely shock you.
Go on then.
But
Here's a hot item.
I think there was like an executive on. Remember those like 2-wheeled hoverboards?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolute-
Getting around with one of them and
Absolutely.
just like
Was there a beanbag in the room, possibly? Or a ping pong table nearby?
There was
Table
definitely a
tennis?
ping pong table
okay.
nearby.
Well, ladder up, move the
Guys,
needle.
I'm pretty sure the place that meeting was at.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone there worked hard, but they played hard too.
Buckets was a big one.
Yeah,
buckets,
put it into buckets.
Put it into buckets.
Yeah. Siloed. Everyone's getting siloed.
Siloed, yeah. Chime in. Weaved into the process. You do me a Flavor Flav. Oof.
That was bad.
That was
So
rude.
what do we think of
Anyway,
the joke?
I like it. I think this is the danger of circling back too fast. I think the line...
Well, what's the... like...
Circling back is definite. Like using the term circling back as and it's something that is a hazard. It's hazardous.
Maybe
to be
we're
circling
in
back.
a boardroom.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that's fallen down.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
and
yeah.
everyone's very concerned.
He circled back too quickly.
Circle back too quickly. Or,
I think that's the thing because the setting is the setup. Really is what connects the circle back to wait what like if it's a emergency room.
It's a bit.
You
obvious.
lose the
Yeah.
So,
you tip your hand a bit much.
Yeah. So if you have it in a boardroom and there's just one guy with a bandage around his head, and they're sort of looking at him, or someone's just asked, "Oh, are you okay? What happened to you? Or what happened to him?" It's like, yeah, no, he circled back.
What if he is like giving, like hosting a seminar or something? And the caption is like, "I'm one of the lucky ones, but don't circle back too quickly." Like he goes from
he's got a keynote.
He's got a keynote,
Like
and he goes
an
around offices
inconvenient truth.
to tell people about the dangers of
It's an
circling back.
OH&S
to-
issue.
Yeah.
It's so now don't circle back too quickly. I was the lucky one, but
Yeah, trust me, I've seen all sorts
that's
of
so funny.
injuries.
I love that the first joke back after a years long
thought of
hiatus
that.
is a circle back joke, which I'm a big fan of.
So, okay.
I love circle back. Anything to do with, and look, I know we make fun of sometimes crappy wordplay jokes. This is a good joke. This is a good reference, and it's not wordplay. It's an actual. It's using a common term and then just sort of.
I think that the insight on this one is like everyone takes these things so seriously. And the idea of taking it out to the neck to like imagine it was dangerous.
Yeah.
Like this
It's a
bullshit that we
hazardous
worry
thing.
ourselves about.
Circle back to this next week because if you do it tomorrow, you are fucked.
Yeah.
You're going to get whiplash. Does he have a whiplash collar on? You know those.
He's got a neck brace.
He's got a neck brace on. He circled back to
like after Chrissy pretend shot.
That's right. Yep. It's something that Tony's sister would wear. Just
Oh yeah. Wasn't she a piece of work?
the best cast character in the whole thing. Just so annoying.
Yeah. Janice.
Janice. Oh
That's
my
right.
god.
And the
so
Rolling
annoying.
Stone tattoo on the breast.
Everything
it was
about
very
it was
good.
perfect.
All right.
What else you got? Is there something in?
Is there? I don't mind this guy. It's someone walking out of a cinema or like a cinema or a play or something
Sure.
on a phone.
Yep.
Saying to the person he's with or she's with, whatever. Oh no! Actually, it says here we didn't enjoy it at all, and it's like
They've got Rotten Tomatoes.
they've got
open.
Rotten Tomatoes open.
They check the audience
yeah,
score.
they're like,
Yeah, that's great. I like that because that's the first thing people do now is if they haven't already checked before they go to a movie or they'll check Rotten Tomatoes just in case they enjoyed it a little too much and went, are we crazy or was that awesome?
Yeah.
And then you check audience score, go, actually, we didn't enjoy that at all.
I'd be a
It's
terrible
35.
film reviewer because I think everything's pretty good.
You're naturally inclined to be positive about something someone made, I think, because you're someone who creates stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Whereas people who don't are immediately cynical about Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Well, I guess it was kind of okay. Because you look at the
Did
reviews.
you see the promo they did for that?
In New York? Yeah.
Crazy.
Insane.
So
Just
if
wild.
you didn't see it, there was a bunch of like different kind of crimes committed.
Yeah.
And like secretly filmed and stuff. And so the one that Jason and I were well, the one that I was most outraged
Me
by
too. Yeah.
was a Mark Norman stand-up gig.
He was closing the show at New York Comedy Club, and they were filming it in Gramercy.
It was for a special, right?
Yeah.
And well, that's why
I mean,
it was presented.
it was being filmed for something.
It was being
Yeah,
filmed for
yeah,
something,
yeah.
and then a couple walks onto the stage, and he's like, "Oh, this is kind of weird." And then people came and took him out, and they were like, the conceit was there was someone sitting in the corner who was making threatening kind of statements about, "I'm going to shoot the player."
Yeah, I'm going to shoot the place up, or there's a bomb, or something like that.
Anyway, turns out it was just promo for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It was like this kind of would-be
weird.
viral like to play on people's fears of being shot in a public place.
It could have, honest to God, been a stampede. Like, it could have been turned into, because they're like, please get up carefully, get up quietly, please don't rush the door. Because people are like, oh my God. You watch the video, people are panicking. They think they're about to get blown up.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible way to promote a show. And I'm sure it doesn't help the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. But it is.
Well, maybe it's a good way because people will be like, yeah, you know what? I shouldn't go out. I should stay and just watch this.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to get shot.
Stay on the couch.
I want to see Donald Glover getting shot. I don't need to be shot.
I thought it was very good, by the way. I thought the show was
The show?
good. Yeah, I liked it.
A lot of unanswered questions from the film.
Oh, yes. A lot of answers. Yes. And a big cliffhanger finale. Yeah.
Did we ever do this, which is Trojan teens using a horse to sneak into a dirty film?
No, we haven't done that. That's funny.
Pimply Trojans.
Pimply Trojans. That's pretty good. So they're getting.
I don't know how it's presented though.
Yeah. I like the idea that it's the same people who ended up going into, like, going up to the gates and
Oh, this was their first shot.
this
at it.
was the
This is
first.
like they've just been doing this.
It's them as teenagers going, oh my God, do you remember what we did?
Right.
Let's do it again, but 10x.
Is there one of them like younger?
Yeah.
Pulling a horse like very quickly down the road after they've clearly knock and run.
Knock and run with a Trojan horse. That is very silly.
It doesn't make sense.
That's wildly silly. Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of any
such a dumb
prequel of a major, like Odysseus or the Trojan horse, all of that stuff, all of those Homer stories, ancient Greek stories. I love the idea of, because everyone's so obsessed with a prequel now. Like, if you're going to mine IP for like a reboot.
Like Icarus made weights.
Right.
He wanted to go as deep as possible.
Yeah.
It's like, this is stupid.
Yeah, like it's, what happened
Keep
before?
running out of breath.
Yeah.
Crazy Icarus.
Just the
And his
idea.
old man's like, I told you.
The origin story is what. So the origin story of the Trojan horse of them just trying to get into a music concert and going, I've got an idea. And then
Yeah.
And they're all pimply teenagers, but they're still wearing, like, they've got a gladius and they've got the helmet and the boots.
tunic and shit.
Yeah. But they're like, oh my God, I just got the best idea.
Yeah.
That's not about, I think that's funny.
There's something around
There's a
there.
good reference there too. I like that.
Our two girls walking in the park.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is saying to the other one, I guess I'm just looking for someone with no opinions whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, that's a banger. There's
This
This
one I like, and this one is kind of timely. We're recording this on the Monday after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's an athlete, maybe a footballer, being interviewed on the field after the match, but he's being interviewed by a bear. The microphone is like a lobster.
Right.
And
there's a Edvard Munch's The Scream
There-
character in the
yeah.
background. You've got Dali clocks
a lot of that.
off
a lot of
the
surrealist
side
imagery.
of the grandstand. Yeah.
And then the caption is the footballer saying, "To be standing here just feels, well, you know."
Well, you know.
He doesn't want to say it.
I also think, okay, so
I like that joke because
Yeah,
they
it's
say
a
it
great
when
joke.
it's not surreal.
Yeah.
But when it is, like, he couldn't bring himself to.
totally. Yeah, it's and the more surreal, the better. Like, the more surrealist references in there, the better. Like a giant elephant on stalks. You know, the
train coming through.
The train, yeah, like real David Lynch stuff. And just having that as, like, so people can kind of pick the references and see it all. But then by the time they read the caption, and then look back up and they realize what it is. I think that's an evergreen. You know, I know
Yeah,
it's a Super Bowl
I
thing.
think you're right.
But I think any interview with sports is because it's such a cliche. Just going, just being here is just so surreal.
It's so surreal.
It's always a script at this point. It's like the I've disappointed my family and my friends. You know, that press
The
conference.
po-faced apology press conference.
That's the
one
one.
of my favorites.
It's the
Just I've let down my family, my teammates, sponsors, the
There it
club,
is. There
and
it
all the
is.
members.
Yep.
I'm going to do everything in my power to win that trust back.
I'd say full responsibility.
Who else is going to take responsibility for you punching someone in a fucking nightclub, bro?
I take 80% responsibility.
Listen, I'm not entirely to blame. The guy was looking at me.
Me and Johnny Walker. So I love the idea of the surrealist one. I think it's an evergreen. I think it works. The more references we get in there, the better. It also feels a little bit like, you know, when like Family Guy or something does a reference like that, where you get to, it's fun. They really like build it out.
Oh, yeah, right.
Nicely. I like the idea of just like making it super clear. And also, it's really fun to draw. That's a great idea.
It'd be good in colour.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, real hypercolor.
Yeah, crazy
weird.
colours.
Yeah, like real. I'll take some psilocybin before I draw it.
They say you should do that.
They do say that, don't they?
Well,
I haven't heard they're interesting, aren't they?
yeah.
I love it.
What have you got?
Great. Okay. So I was at the checkout the other day, self-checkout, and I was directed for the first time in I think about 5 years to an actual checkout person, like with the rolling.
I steal stuff now,
thing.
and I'm very obvious about this. I'm not obvious about it, but I'm very
that's
open
great.
because I have plausible deniability.
Sure.
Which is,
Yeah.
I was never trained. I don't work here.
Yes.
I'm doing my best.
I'm doing your job.
Do you know what I mean? There's
badly.
no other business in the world where Delta's like, we're doing a land thing.
You have to land the
Bring
plane
it in.
yourself. Yeah.
You'll save $80 for your flight, but you got to land it.
You know what their biggest mistake was, Delta? Was if you're in, I think it's premium economy, they let you get your own snacks and booze if you want. You can go into the mid galley and just get your own snacks, which if you've ever seen Sophie and I on a plane to anywhere, even an hour-long flight to Chicago or something, we just, it's snack fest. It's just nuts. Giving people that responsibility.
I have to tell you something.
Yes.
So I fly a lot with
Yes, you
Delta.
do. Yeah.
I'm like a diamond member.
Yeah.
Which is the second top one.
Yeah.
The top one is like,
Black Diamond,
and
Ruby.
it's like given to like Jay-Z.
Sure,
Like it's
yeah.
it's
the-
sitting senators and
It's
stuff.
George Clooney at the end of
Up in the Air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I fly a lot. You haven't stumbled upon this like wonderful service. You have just gone and taken things from the galley. Did you notice? Did at any stage did either you or Soph go, I don't understand why everyone isn't doing this. It's free. Did you notice that?
Scott,
You were the only people.
I'm going to circle back to something you just said. Scott, I steal things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least I'm doing
steal
it to
things.
kind of strike a blow.
Yeah,
I only
against
do it
Amazon.
Against Amazon.
Yeah.
Because my local supermarket, I wish it had self-checkout.
Is it a mum and
because
pop
the
shop?
Well, it's run by idiots. I don't know.
Go on.
I don't know what their marital status is, but I know they're morons.
Yes.
To the point where the staff are it is so bad that it changes me like politically. Like
Jeez.
I walk out going, they should lower the minimum wage.
That's
I don't
funny.
like the idea.
Wow.
You know, for those people only, just for those 4 people,
Yeah.
I want them punished.
This is in Brooklyn. And interestingly, this is not isolated to Brooklyn, but there's definitely anything that's not owned by a massive super chain. It's the opposite thing now. Instead of it being halfway efficient and consistently halfway efficient, it's the opposite. It's extremely inefficient.
Oh,
like
yeah.
in reaction to the big chains,
Well,
it's now the worst it's ever been.
Did I tell you that I went to the checkout, right? The only 2 people in the store are me in the checkout. I don't know
Yeah.
how any of the produce it's just weird, right?
Yeah.
It's like the zoo at Mexico City. Have you been to the zoo at Mexico City?
No, I haven't.
It's in the middle of like this beautiful parkland and stuff. If you ever go, you can just walk in, right? It's like the Central Park Zoo, but
no
there's
admission?
no
Free snacks?
No admission. But listen to this.
Go on.
There's no staff.
What do you mean there's no staff?
You walk around.
Who
there.
feeds the animals?
I don't know.
Are you serious?
It's one of those places where, like, if you were to see like an orangutan smoking, you'd be like, totally tracks. That is amazing.
Now I have to go. I mean, there's horses just walking around.
No, there's not. Like, why would you go to who's having horses
in a zoo? That's a good point. Clydesdale. You know, there's like always a weird little.
Let's get a big one in there. What are you?
In my head, there's just zebras maybe walking around, just
free range.
Yeah, just trotting around. You know, there's no staff to rein them in and
no, they're
feed
in
them.
Cages. Like they've caged them, but there's just no staff. Maybe the stuff comes at
No
night.
water, no food. They just drone it in.
I don't know. We kind of left.
This is another self-checkout. They're just doing self-checkout.
That was the thing. It's like you can't have a staffless thing. Yeah, so I steal stuff.
Yeah, you steal stuff.
I also mark, kind of fancy fruit and vegetables as like non-organic or like.
Oh, that's the biggest thing, Sophie, and it's like us getting away with a little thing, and this is on the record now, is logging the bananas as just the normal ones and not the organic ones.
Yeah,
and I think I'm getting one over on the little guy.
That's a life hack. Well, the great irony is that the actual organic bananas are
not at all organic. Yeah.
No.
I've made a huge mistake in the novelty thing. I went to the supermarket and I tried to do tap to pay. Didn't work. And then it flashes red when you hit please for assistance. And then there's like one person who comes from, head office. They come over and they go,
sigh loudly when they get to you.
Yeah, of course they are. Because that's definitely where they want to be. And they're like, what'd you do? I'm like, I tried to tap to pay. It's not working. They're like, that's okay. There's another way to pay. You just put your palm over this thing and it reads your palm print. And then it just...
Don't like that at all.
It's the most Orwellian thing I think I've ever seen. She goes, it's free. You don't have to... I said, well, of course it's free. You're getting my biometrics. Of course it's free.
Oh, you mean I don't have to charge?
Yeah, like...
I'm not getting charged for this?
Wow, that's amazing. And she goes, no, well, I mean, if you don't even have to carry your wallet or your phone or your watch or anything. You can just come by and you can just pay with your palm.
Stark naked and you can still buy some organic bananas.
Just
on the cheap.
You're dancing around Murder on the Dance Floor style, just waggling through Whole Foods and grabbing your organic bananas.
Do you want to check my receipt? Just keep moving.
Keep moving. Anyway, I did the pay with my palm because I didn't have any cash, and I guess now they have my palm print. The biggest, most evil company in the world.
But how do they know you're good for the money?
It links to your Amazon account. It just
how?
links to your Amazon account.
Oh no.
You just punch in your email address, and it's like, yep, there's your Amazon account. Yep, now that palm is linked to your Amazon account. I'm like, that's terrifying.
Did I ever tell you about the time I saw a guy, he was a bald fella.
Go on.
And he was like at a nightclub or something, and he looked a bit like Jeff Bezos, and we were a bit drunk, and we were like, hey, buddy, you know who you look like? And he was like, he knew what was coming, but I was like, yeah, it's Jeff Bezos.
Yep.
And he goes, thank you. It was the weirdest.
That is really
The
weird.
whole thing was just off.
That's so surreal.
And he was like,
yeah. Was it Jeff Bezos?
And, well, no, I don't know, but it gave him confidence because we kept watching him and he was like going over to girls, like really.
What is it about billionaires who get to a certain point in age or net worth where they feel like the only place to go is to get jacked and look like a Joe Rogan guest? Like Mark Zuckerberg started doing MMA.
No, I think there's a deep psychological like I want to live forever.
Yeah. These are people who want to be in the blue zones. They want to have a rocket to Mars to survive forever and be frozen for future generations and come back from that coma, aforementioned coma, and have to catch up on what the new AI species have subjugated humans to.
Well, it's like how vampires are always rich.
Yes.
Because if you weren't,
of course,
you'd be like,
the
I'm just
worst.
going to go in the sun. I can't do another 600
You're
years
just
of this.
the worst vampire. I mean, yeah. I mean, you'd be playing.
I want that.
markets.
I want to see like where's the minimum
broke-
wage?
Where's the broke vampire?
Yeah.
There's never been a broke vampire.
He's like just getting around, like he's driving Ubers.
Yeah, he lost a lot of money in
Like he went.
several of the depressions.
Yeah, that's right.
He's still recovering from the third one.
He was like, I'm gonna put all my money into Kodak. You know, I got a good feeling about this blockbuster.
good old
let's
Kodak
let's go.
factory.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there something in this? It's someone at the checkout, but you know times are tough and people are having to get multiple jobs now.
Yes.
So it's a croupier at a checkout.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering. I need help with this. So it's on either side, and it's a croupier at the checkout checking out. I don't know if he's checking out or if he is the checkout person. And he's just got the credit cards spread out, like in that he's fanned out the credit cards.
I like that.
And is it the croupier in it like a vest, just putting him out there saying, "So you do this every time," or you know, like how would you like to pay? And the response is just, "Well, pick a card, any card," kind of thing. You know, is it a magician? Is it a croupier? Is it someone who fans out cards in that way? But it's just taking him from the original setting and putting him in a everyday setting where that would be a fun thing. Is he checking out and he's got all the credit cards?
That would make more sense because he would, you know, pick a card kind of a thing.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, you do this every time. So the idea that he does it every time as well, like this isn't the first time. It's his least favorite customer.
Is there something in like a banker who's like the same kind of thing? Like he's a magician.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Is this the card you defaulted on?"
I had a joke.
Something that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like
had something very similar to that. And then I couldn't quite make it work. And then I think it might have been Asher Perlman or someone. He's a writer for Colbert, and he did the one where I think it was him. Sorry if it's not. Where it's the bartender saying, "Is this your card?" But he's like he's dressed like a magician.
That's good. Yeah,
Is this your card? I think that was where I was trying to get to.
I'm trying to think though of like what are some situations where you've got multiple?
Yeah, right. And a lot of people have multiple credit cards now because they've got different like benefits for dining or travel or whatever. But the idea that, you know, it is such a, and this is I think this is a very American thing, a uniquely American thing, is to have a lot of different kinds of credit cards. You've got like your Delta card and you've got your, you know, this, that, and the other. I do like the idea of them just being fanned out in such a way, on the counter of the checkout. That kind of, I mean, there's something there. But I can't quite figure out what it is. And someone has to be annoyed by it. It's either the person at the checkout or their partner. Like, "Oh, honey, you do this every time." Or is it someone paying the check at a restaurant? Like the little black books come over and then he's like fanned the cards out on the table to pay. Like, can you put $20 on this one, $50 on this one, $150 on this one?
Yeah. What if it's like it's a casino restaurant
Casino restaurant.
and they're splitting the bill?
Yeah, okay. Everything else is casino themed, splitting the bill, and it's just
He's
fanned out.
He's doing that to the table, and the table's a bit like, "Why? This is taking far too long."
Right.
And then,
Yeah, there's definitely something there. Also, I don't know if you're finding this. I'm pretty sure it's a widespread thing, but everybody is asking me to tip now. Everything
Oh,
I
yeah.
do in life. As if it wasn't already... It's like Ronnie Cheng was saying, like, you just walk out of your door in New York City and it costs you $1.50. Like,
Yeah.
you can't move in this city without someone asking you to tip for something they didn't even do. They didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
This it's gone crazy, and I do think the idea of something insane where there's absolutely no way that you would tip for it is asking for the tip with the
Self-checkout.
I mean, that is existing. That's not even a joke. That's just a real thing that exists.
Who gets the tip? Me?
No, I don't get exactly. Like
I did everything.
there was a guy who posted the photo of his cartoonist friend of mine in Chicago, and he was posting a photo of the self checkout and they had the balls to pre-do it as 20%, 30%, 35%.
What?
Yeah, that was the options. There was no other either. Yeah. What are the balls on these guys?
I'm going to spend 35 cents on the dollar.
Yeah. As a tip. For whom?
For what?
And they said, and their excuse was, because they went into this whole thing, and they were saying, oh, well, to maintain the machines and to.
Oh, we're
to
tipping the
stop
machine?
Yeah, just tipping the machines. This is
Hey,
where
you did a good job, Buttons.
the robots really have taken over.
Yeah.
Tipping machines now. Yeah, and it was like a big thing. And
I
apparently
don't
it was
go
widespread.
on vacation
Yeah.
and be next to a fucking self-checkout.
Yeah.
Because we've paid them so much, they're now going on holidays.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Organics only. This is what I'm saying.
Organics only. Yeah. I mean, tipping's
I don't want to see robots at Turks and Caicos because,
Right.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
see that one got promoted.
so as an addendum to this idea, and this may be the bit, this may be the gag, is the idea that, you know, when you used to see Trump with his little, restaurant menu executive orders where he would have like this open black leather
Oh yeah, that was his business. He was meaning business.
Yeah, that's
Man,
when
he was forever just signing things.
signing things and then
Yeah.
holding them up to the
Yeah,
cameras.
yeah. Remember when he had?
He had like 4 of them.
Remember when he had COVID? And he was like,
Yes.
I'm getting straight back to work, and he was like just tireless signing things in a hospital.
Yes,
Like,
you and your wife came over to my place that night. We were having martinis going, the president could die tonight. Because it was hour to hour Trump had COVID.
that's right.
It was 2020. And we said, this is insane. The president could die. And then this photo pops up on Twitter of him with his shirt collar open.
He was so
at
sweaty.
the
and he
end
was,
of a
like,
long table.
struggling to breathe.
Struggling
as
a
well,
bit. Yeah, but he was signing bits
Just
of paper.
signing things.
And they were blank. Like later, there's like these photos from nearby where they just blank bits of paper that he was
Of course
just
they were.
signing.
Yeah, practicing his signature.
Fantastic.
Just
So-
go and set him up in the big room.
Yeah, that's funny.
Just
Give
keep him
I'll
busy.
switch out the crayon for a Sharpie. So he loved a Sharpie, that president. He really was the Sharpie president. And so that signature it's not a great signature. I got it when he gave all Americans a check in 2020 to stimulate the economy. It has his signature on it, and it looks very silly. It's a
So
very silly looking signature.
I have a terrible signature, as you know.
Yes. Maybe the worst I've
it's
seen.
probably bad, and it's very much like Trump's.
No.
My actual check signing,
Sure.
But then the one that we do when we're signing books and things.
Sure. Yeah.
You have to coach me on it.
Yeah. Well, that's only because it's
so shit.
It's so okay. So this maybe the idea is, in the future, if we get past this next presidential term, which we may not, and there are people from this generation who are going to have to be signing executive orders and bills. Their signature is just going to be whatever squiggle we do on Square payments. You know, when you do
I
those
just do a
digital,
cross.
you do a cross. I've seen you do this cross
Yeah.
as if you're Huckleberry Finn. It's
treasure.
You're just it's treasure. Just illiterate signature.
Well, it's because I can't put a paw print.
Give it time. You can't do your palm.
I'm not like you.
But the idea of that's everyone's signature. No one has a signature anymore.
Right.
Because when they're signing a check or they're signing on the credit card thing on Square on a screen, no one, it never looks good. It's just a squiggle. It's indecipherable. It doesn't look like anything. It's just, get it out of.
I had a guy in New Zealand look at what I scribbled on the screen.
Yeah.
And then look at my thing.
Oh,
and he was
really?
like,
wow.
he was like, I can't accept
That's
this.
the first time I think I've
And
ever heard
I
of that
said to
happening.
him, I said, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He goes, the signature doesn't look the same. I said, yeah, but the ID does. I
Yeah.
was buying grog. I showed him my ID.
ID and
I
credit
was
card.
like, are you insane?
But
I
the
don't how do you
signature's
think the
different.
internet works, my guy?
That's funny. Wow, you're in New Zealand buying grog, and you got pinged for not having the correct signature.
Yeah, then I made the prick take it to my car.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's before my wedding. It was a lot.
Oh,
I said, can you just put it in the white one, man?
That was a great wedding. That was very good. Yeah, like waiter. So waiters ask you to tip.
Yep.
Doctor would be kind of a funny one. Like a doctor asking you to tip.
Oh, yeah.
Would be kind of fun. Mum. Is another one I put. Just like things that your mum does and asking for a tip. Shows like a comedy show. Like just weird scenarios where you wouldn't ordinarily...
Where you wouldn't expect a tip.
Yeah. I thought it would be a shout. Something where, you wouldn't ordinarily tip, but there it is. Yeah. What do you think? Is there something...
Maybe if it's a shout, it's like the New Yorker's definitive guide to tipping. And it's it's like with the advent of more and more things requiring a tip,
yes,
we're going to tell you what the standard should be so you don't get ripped off, but you don't offend anyone. And
there
then
it's a social contract.
It's a social contract,
and this is the guide.
This is the guide.
I'm constantly educating Aussies on the tipping etiquette in New York because obviously we don't tip in Australia. It's not common. So people who come over on...
We've got a minimum wage. Because we've got a...
We've got minimum wage, yeah.
Medicare and things.
Right. And they're like, oh, how much do I tip? How do I do it? And I just say, just do GST times 2-ish. If you're feeling, nice. But that I like the idea
just
of
double the first number in a restaurant.
Double the first number?
Like just double the first number. Like if it's like...
Oh, right. If it's like $100, you do like $20.
You do like 24.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty... Yeah, that's a good way to do it. There's a GST times 2. It's a way to do it. Okay, so there's something there. I want to figure it out, but there's something about the tipping.
But then it's all the things of like, if you tip more than 7% on a hand job or whatever.
Hand job. On a happy ending. That's good. All right, here's one. So party girl or party guy or something like that. It's clearly like Corey the party boy. Bottle on the floor. It's... they're on a table, on like one of those hospital tables in an emergency operating room. Maybe it's what do you call it? The glittery thing,
Feather boa.
Feather boa.
Grandfather clock tipped over somewhere. That's always a sign of a rockin' party. Remember that?
That was always...
There was a thing. There was a time in the 80s where
grandfather clock.
If the grandfather clock wasn't standing, you had a wild time.
Rock and roll played
really
in that house.
Crazy, like...
That's right. So clearly a party boy or party girl on the operating table.
Yep.
And the doctor's saying, time of death, 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh.
Is that something?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
good? Time
very funny.
of death, 5 o'clock somewhere. It's a little bit morbid. It's a bit dark, but that's the shit I come up with.
Yeah, but like
because you did one where it was
the death of the party, like instead of the life.
Life
of the party,
death of the party. That's not bad. Death of the party. Yeah, time of death, 5 o'clock nowhere. Yes, the death of the life of the party. What if it's death at a party? There's the life of the party. And
we're getting dangerously close to re-pitching Weekend at Bernie's.
Grim Reaper at a party. The life of the... He's the life of the party.
Yeah.
The Grim Reaper with like, he's got a party hat on and he's knocked over the grandfather clock and he's on a surfboard and he's dancing around on a table and he's broken something. He's the life of the party. Death is the life of the party.
Yeah.
Is there something there? Death is the life of the party.
What if it's like everyone's at a party and he is at the door, like the Grim Reaper, and everyone's like, fucking hell, the Grim Reaper's here. And someone is saying, ironically, he's always the life of the party.
That's good. That's nice. Yeah.
It's a bit, I don't like ironically.
Ironically is maybe implied by the word actually. He's actually the life of the party. Guys,
Yeah.
You'd be,
Yeah,
you'd be
yeah.
surprised. He's actually the life of the party.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't mind that.
yeah, I like the idea that they've opened the door because that's the framing of him like from behind with the scythe. and
Oh,
that
right. Oh, yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
the doorway, and the light from inside is like
I hadn't thought
silhouetting
of it
him.
like
And they go,
that,
he's
yeah.
guys. You're not gonna believe this. It's actually kind of
Yeah.
crazy. He's actually the life of the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that saves me drawing more. Also with the tipping thing, I don't know. Driver apps always have. They ask you to tip, but they also ask you to give a 5-star or like a star rating. Everything
I think
seems
you
to
know my
ask you.
policy.
I do know your policy on this.
I don't review anything.
You don't review anything.
Refuse.
No, people email and ask you to
People
review.
literally ask you, "Hey, can you send us a?"
Okay, absolutely not. No.
What?
Why? No, not doing that.
No.
Yeah, I'm not doing more work.
I'm not,
We're
I
doing
don't
our
work
own
for you.
self-checkout.
I'm bagging groceries here. I'm
Yeah, and then I'm giving you a 5-star review. What's going on there?
tipping machines.
I. This might be a little on the nose, but here we go.
Here we go.
It's who name it's. I've just the title of the bit is just shark naming, and I'm just wondering who called him the Great White Shark.
Oh yeah.
And also, he's white. So he's like a white shark. Of course he thinks he's great. He's just, I'm the best. The great white shark. Like,
Oh, okay.
there's just something about that like superiority complex. There's a race element there.
That's
It's
very.
very, that's why it might be a bit on the nose. But it's just like,
It is.
will he be calling himself great? He's the greatest.
Yeah.
Then again, Muhammad Ali did call himself the greatest. So there's that. But
Yeah, but he didn't
great
call himself the
white shark-
greatest because he was.
He also happened to be.
Because he thought he was racially superior to people. He was the best because he could knock out a horse.
He could knock out a horse.
He was the greatest because
On
he
a
was
whim,
literally the greatest boxer.
Greatest boxer of all time.
Did you think it was a race thing? All this time you've been like, I don't know
This
why he
whole
enjoys such a
time.
good box. Like,
I'm the
He's
greatest.
really racist.
I
You
don't
rank
know.
him.
There was just it was Shark Week because of course it was, and I saw just some. They just kept every time the announcer hit the word white and said the Great White Shark. I was like, this sounds a little red statey to me. This sounds a
Was it
little
one
bit
of those
Trumpy.
ones? You know how they get like
when they said white,
they'll do like
the
a
Great White Shark.
documentary and they'll get like it's being narrated by Pierce Brosnan or
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
was your one like by Kid Rock or something?
Yeah, it literally sounded like Kid Rock. You could hear the
like-
machine gun shooting cans in the background.
It's
It
like-
was
it's
shooting
like
Bud
quite
Light.
clearly like snuffing. And
Yeah, yeah, he's like,
shooting-
there's
spitting into
Man,
his. He's on dip.
you guys wouldn't believe this shark. It's the
in
greatest
the-
white
yeah.
shark you've ever
Yeah.
seen. You saw him at the Capitol. Anyway, I also think you and I need to, as a shout, you wrote something really funny, which was absurd. Bad analogies for America. Do you remember this?
No, I don't remember this at
You
all.
don't remember doing bad analogies for America? I think now this was during the pandemic, so we were both sick and very drunk, pretty much the whole time.
You were sick.
So, I
you
was
were the
very
first
sick.
person to really like.
Yeah, I got it pretty bad. Yeah,
But you were the first person to really kind of like leverage it. You know what I mean? Like
Well-
you did that piece for something or other.
yeah,
and it got
went in the
picked up.
Washington Post.
Yeah, for the Washington Post, and it got. Speaking of Bezos, Jesus Christ, you steal from your boss?
yeah. I steal from my
You have
own.
a lot of nerve.
I know what an
You
idiot.
don't know what side your
I
blood's
know.
buttered on.
Yeah, but it was bad analogies for America.
What was
and-
that based on? Was it based? It was probably because at the time everyone was like, America is blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, that's precisely what it was. Was that at the time the level of hyperbole was just at fever pitch, and it was just like everyone was saying, America at this point is the blah blah blah.
Yes, yeah, that's
and
right.
it's ground zero of blah blah blah.
Yeah.
and it was always just like, can we stop
They
with
were
these
trying to-
analogies?
Well, they were trying to like capture some of that
I
like
have them. I'm just gonna grab them. Yeah.
they were trying to capture some of that like that 9/11 patriotism. Like they felt as though there was good that we can, and it's probably coming from a pretty good place. We can really like unify people here.
Yeah.
And as a leader,
Right.
Also like any politician, never waste an opportunity. Like never
absolutely.
waste a crisis.
No.
This is your bread and butter.
Right.
So what you've got to do is tell people that despite all data,
Yes.
and all anecdotal evidence as well,
Yeah.
things are really good, and that's because America is a resilient
There you go.
chicken on the nape of the.
It's
you know,
exactly
it's all shit
that's
like that.
exactly
Yeah.
what they were doing. And you know, when the ship came in, I remember you sending me this video of the ship.
Oh yeah, that's
The
terrifying.
USS something came in to New York.
The USS Sniffles.
One of the lesser known
I don't know why they
military
named it
medical
that.
ships.
Yeah.
But listen, it worked. It had a giant red nose on the front.
The USS Penicillin.
USS Penicillin. That's the name of the episode.
The USS Copay.
Copay. So terrible analogies for America. So of course you were probably watching the news and just were a little stuck inside in your brain.
Oh yeah.
Is it America like a whale at a dinner party?
I wrote
It's like you said, like two ships watching the baseball. Like this was you. You got so high. He's going like a bear eating a cabbage. America. It's like a cell phone in a kennel.
This was around the time marijuana edibles became.
Yeah,
legal,
no,
I
it was
think.
literally you were doing edibles, and it was like two bartenders building a sandcastle.
I have no record.
The
Are you
first
sure I
one,
did this?
the first, yeah, we were texting them back and forth like for days. I was fever. I was like, I had a fever, and I thought I was dying, and you're like, hey, what about this? Like, you go, it's like three rats playing Sudoku.
That's what America is.
It was just so weird.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and I was like, I think I'd like to illustrate these just terrible analogies for America.
Yeah. Could they be flags?
Yeah,
Like
that
the
could be.
flag
They
for
could be like
America.
some kind of like when you go to the Smithsonian and you have
Yeah.
old what's it called? Old Faithful, Old Yellow. What's the
Old Yellow.
the flag? What's a flag's name?
Old Glory?
Yes.
Faithful? Old
Yeah, I think it's Old Glory. Something
No,
like
Old
that.
Faithful is
What's Old Faithful?
it's a geyser
Come on.
at
Geyser
at-
of oil?
at Yellowstone.
Oh.
It's the hot baths
really?
or something. Hot something.
springs.
Then Old Yeller
Yeah,
was
what's
the
Old
name
Yeller?
of a dog that famously gets kind of put out of its misery.
Oh
in the
no,
movie.
really?
And then Old Glory, I think,
Is it Old Glory? The original flag that's up behind the glass. Old Glory. We'll have to circle back.
Yeah, we might have to. We're at an inflection point of the podcast. Do we?
Inflection point. Yes.
Do you have anything to plug? When are you performing?
Oh yeah, I am performing Union Hall. Picture this: we're doing a big. I want to say it's an Easter themed show, in that someone's gonna die, but then they're gonna come back again for another
Oh
set.
right, someone's going to get up there and like, hey, you remember when Kramer said this? And then everyone's going to be like, oh, no, that's not good.
Yeah.
And then they're going to win back the audience.
Yeah.
Classic resurrection.
I had the speaking of surreal experience of being side stage for a show at Radio City Music Hall. Friend of the show, Ronnie Cheng, previous guest of the show, Ronnie Cheng, sold out Radio City Music Hall twice. And I got to see like the whole back end of what the culmination of that looks like, with like the team and the management and the tour.
They're crazy,
And
those big gigs.
It's wild, and it's a union thing, so there's just all these like crew and technical people and
And the voice of God
It's-
backstage, 30
yeah, yeah.
minutes, 30 minutes.
all
till
that
Ronnie,
stuff.
Like,
And the green room and the back, just all of it, and the after party and the glad handing and all that stuff. It reminds me of like the fact that, you and I, when we used to just clubs and stuff in Australia, or like bar shows or whatever, or here in New York, you do like bar shows or you do clubs. It's like, oh, where does this go? What's the next where's the end? Like, is there an Everest that's like, oh yeah, you're doing the MSG. You know, you're doing. It's pretty. I mean, Radio City Music Hall's pretty much there because MSG, for all its capacity, it's a sports venue. And when you do, I've seen plenty of comedy shows there. I've seen very big comedians do shows there, but it's not really conducive to stand-up comedy. It's not great for stand-up comedy. If you can sell it out, huge flex, but also not great as a show. Radio City, it's a theatre. It's an old theatre, and it's designed in such a way that...
Is this your plug?
Is my plug. So my plug is a long way around to getting to my plug, is that I am... You can see a new set that I'm doing on my Substack, which is newyorkcartoons.substack.com. But also, I designed Ronnie's tour artwork.
Yes, that's right. It looks so good.
So I'm putting that whole back end. I'm kind of revealing the back end of what that was on my Substack,
right?
Which is comedy adjacent, just because you made me think of it, just the comedy stuff. So yeah, so that's a plug for my Substack, is what that is.
There you go.
Yeah. What about you?
Jason's got a Substack.
You having any kids?
I'm having a
soon,
child soon, so if you want to send me money,
what's your Cash App? What's your
I
Venmo?
don't know, I've got a Venmo. Just look for the one where Ronnie Chang's trolled.
Yeah, he says
any
looks
of
like
the
shit.
transactions.
Yes, both he and previous guest of the show, Roy Wood Jr., have since gone on to have wonderful success.
We're kingmakers.
I think we are.
Yeah. The only issue is, and this is the great irony,
is there some king in this?
we can't. You can't make yourself a king.
You can't king yourself.
No matter how much you try.
No, you can't king yourself.
No.
That's how chess works.
That's why we're doing this podcast
King
in this
me.
living room.
We've made it.
We did it.
We've made it. All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
We will, yeah, next week.
Send in suggestions. If we like to, if you have any ideas for jokes, I know that some of you did actually send in some ideas years ago. This is going to shock you, but I lost them. So
in the divorce.
Divorce. I lost them in the divorce. She said, you can have the house, you can have the dog, but I'm taking the listener suggestions with me. And she did. So I am...
we should point out...
Sorry,
Jason,
yeah, I'm not
Jason
divorced.
and Sophie,
We're good.
Divorced.
Everything's wonderful. So send in your... I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Send in your suggestions. Send them to jasonchatfieldcomedy@gmail.com and I'll get them. I'll be able to put them all in the one place.
Do we have a Facebook page? Do we have any social media?
We do have a Facebook page. It's just facebook.com/itsitpodcast, ITSIT, as in, is there something in this? We do not have an Instagram.
I'm just going to stop you right now. Anyone that's listening this far knows all this shit.
I
Do you know what I mean?
If you're a first-time listener, you might not.
You haven't gotten this
You
far.
haven't got this far if you're a first-time listener. You're like, bugger this. I'm not listening to this ever again.
I'm not listening to that thief and that half cyborg with his payment hand.
So we've learned Scott steals things and I pay for things with my palm.
Jason believes in this company.
Wow, what a contrast.
We will see you next week. And also, if you have come this far, tell people, because we want to start doing some live shows again.
Yes.
They're really fun, but we've found that doing shows to nobody tends to be at best depressing.
At worst, very self-destructive.
At worst, self-destructive. Either way, futile.
Yeah. Come on in. Yeah. Tell your friends. If you like what you're hearing, tell your friends.
Oh, and we've got something to announce next week as well.
Bit of sizzle right at the end. Very nice. All
Baby's
right.
name.
See you next week.